Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in as always. Getting around to a video on the Reate Future today, and this is a collaboration with knife designer Tashi Barucha out of France, I believe. And so we're going to take a look at this piece. It actually debuted at Blade Show 2016, I recall. That's where I first handled this knife. They had a couple up for sale. At the time, though, I was trying to save my cash in case I hit any lotteries, which I did not, and then all of these were sold out certainly before the end of the show. So finally got around to picking one up, and claim to fame, it is an integral knife, so no screws holding the frame together, one solid piece of titanium. And so we'll go through the specs, overall impressions, and details. First, let's take a look at the certificate of authenticity that comes with this one. Pretty nicely done. Again, not important, but just kind of a cool detail. So model's called the Future. There's Tashi. This one does use M390, and it's an integral with some carbon fiber inlays. Serial number is there. Satin blade finish and a tumbled bronze handle. And this is metal with obviously some coatings here and so forth, but really cool certificate of authenticity. Taking it to the next level for presentation. Alright, let's get into the specs here. So, pull out the Para 2 for a size comparison. Alright, and we're looking at a 3.75 inch blade, 5 inch handle, giving us an overall of 8.75. The handle thickness is 0.51 inches thick. So just a tad over half an inch thick there. And it does incorporate, of course, integral construction, runs on bearings, has a, it's a frame lock, of course, with a stainless steel lock insert, and, ceramic bearing, ceramic detent ball. Yeah. I already mentioned the blade steel is M390, but it is a flat grind. And what else? Look at the, I don't know, I guess to call it a peel ply carbon fiber. And these satin stone-washed handles here. Although the spine has been, the stone-washed anodized, bronze anodized flats, and the back here has been satined, along with some additional color. So, alright, overall impressions. Again, it's a Reate knife. Fit and finish is excellent. This knife combines three things I really like. Reate knives, fit and finish, a Tashi Barucha design, and integral construction. Love all three of those things, and put together it is quite a piece. Beautiful lines, really nice symmetry to it, an interesting blade grind. I think everyone has commented on that quite a bit, but again, the fit and the finish is excellent. Price is up there. These things are coming in just about 500 entry. If you start getting into some of the more exotic combinations, they can certainly go up in price from there. So some of the different options that they're offering are Damasteel, peel ply carbon fiber, marble carbon fiber, stone-washed anodized handles, satin finished handles, black coated handles, Damascus, inlays. Just there's a lot of different combos. From what I've heard, they're only doing about 50 of each run, so fairly limited, but they do seem to be slowly trickling out still. So if you haven't grabbed one yet and everywhere is sold out, there might be some more coming down the line. We'll have to see. Alright, let's take a look at some of the details on this knife. So a couple key details that I want to point out while most of you are still watching. If we look at the pivot system here, we have a Torx head here on the show side, and then we have a much larger Torx on the lock side. And this knife incorporates a new pivot system that was actually designed by David Dang, the owner of Reate Knives' brother, and basically the bearings insert here through this side of the frame, and go around the circumference of the pin in the pivot here. So anyways, the entire assembly basically inserts through the side. On traditional integral knives, basically you had to put the blade in, and then you had to slide the bearings or the Teflon washers from the top or from the side, and then tighten everything down, button it up. And as you can see, the tolerances put on this one, you wouldn't really be able to slide anything into the side. So that is a new pivot system that I don't think has been used by anyone else when constructing and assembling these integral knives. So I'll put a link down to the picture on Instagram that David posted, basically showing how the entire system inserts into the frame or lock side here. So that's one interesting detail on the knife. All right. So let's take a look. First action. With the way that the geometry is set up on this one, the flipper tab is ahead of the pivot and it pulls straight back. You get lots of leverage, and they have, I don't know, chamfered or milled this portion here to make it very smooth and comfortable, so flips really well. Flips solid, flips hard, pretty smooth on the ceramic bearings there. Alright, so here's the M390. Again, this one's a satin. You have a fuller that incorporates into the design of the frame there. Now, one thing that everyone's talked about on this one is where essentially the sharpened portion starts here. You have this large portion that's unsharpened, and people are asking, why did they do that? Well, as far as I can tell, when you close the knife, there is the unsharpened portion, and then the sharpened portion starts right down there. So, if you grab this thing in the closed position, you're hitting nothing but an unsharpened edge, which obviously is important. Last thing you want to do is cut yourself on a closed knife. I've had 2 or 3 knives that have done that to me. One I owned, I got rid of it immediately. The other 2 were friends' knives. So, anyways, that's why the sharpened portion starts there on the blade, and you have an unsharpened portion. Alright, beautiful edge, satin finish, flat grind. You have the flats are horizontal satin, the primary bevel is vertical satin. Tashi's logo, M390, and then of course the Reate Knives logo. But the way it integrates in the handle is really interesting. If you had the handle and the blade separate, sitting next to each other, you would probably think that it doesn't work, but just the way it incorporates here into the design of the handle is really interesting. Again, very indicative of Tashi Baruch's design. Creates a forward guard of sorts here. It's got a little bit of jimping there. Ergonomics are excellent in the hand. There's no sharp edges. You don't feel the jimping on your finger at all. And the way that the handle is shaped, it kind of flares out at the back here, almost like a fighter style. Not quite as dramatic, but gives you kind of that feel. And then, of course, the handle portion here is relatively thin all the way throughout, maybe a little bit wider than an inch, so it gets all the way down in your hand. I have extra large hands, and that's how it's resting in my hand. No sharp edges on the pocket clip, so in my hand size, I don't feel it at all. Again, if you have different size hands, it might differ for you, but it's quite comfortable in the hand. Alright, so this one has, again, like a peel ply carbon fiber. No significant gaps around the carbon fiber. Nice clean machine work. Integrates pretty well into that. So of course they had to mill a pocket into this big slab of tie, as well as keep enough material for the pivot and the stop pin to be strong on the frame. Here's the stop pin screw right here. Then of course the pivot. This screw right here more than likely is keeping the carbon fiber in place. So on the show side, not showing any of those. Pretty cool. The stainless steel lock insert, of course it has to be attached from the outside because it is an integral knife. You can't go in from the inside and attach it. And then look how clean the integration is between the frame and that lock insert here on the lock bar. Super tight lines. Alright. What else? Look at the bronze stonewash finish on this one. They did some interesting arrows essentially pointing to, I guess, the midpoint on the back here of the spine. Again, accentuates the fact that this is a solid piece of titanium with, just it accentuates the aspect that it's an integral construction, so pretty neat. Pocket clip works really well, plenty of gap for thicker jeans, nice amount of tension, and some nice anodizing / millwork here on the pocket clip. So they satin the flats on this one as well. Centering is perfect, and I failed to mention, but the spine has been completely rounded, so another really nice detail in this knife. Toshiba is known for working with custom makers for the most part. He has ventured out and done a few with a few production companies, and obviously this is one of the nicest ones he's done to date. So, beautiful fit and finish, excellent materials, amazing action, good ergos. I mean, it's a solid winner all the way around. Again, there are a lot of different variants. I wouldn't mind picking up another, but yeah. Alright guys, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a kind of up-close, high-def look at this video, or this knife, in this video, and a lot more videos to come. Thanks for watching.